am not a city, that's my name. If you're enjoying the music that you're hearing, that's good, because I was the one that made it. Check out my music on SoundCloud, if you feel like it. Shameless plug over. Without further delay, I'm here at gunpoint to introduce this week's Benny Shakes Things Up. Without further ado, here's Benny.
Well, welcome, Sonny, to Benny Shakes Things Up. You are the second non-disabled comedian to join Benny Shakes. How are you?
I'm well, thank you for having me, Benny.
It's all right. How are you feeling about the second lockdown?
Is it not the third lockdown? I get mixed up.
I've lost count. Is it
Exactly.
the third or fourth or fifth? I don't know.
I don't know anyone. Like, okay, I will be honest. I didn't go to non-essential shops when they were open.
No, I didn't.
I did. I don't know the difference anymore. Like, there's more school kids everywhere, right? Not just in schools containing COVID. Now they're out on the streets
Yeah,
in groups, waiting to rob us.
yeah.
But beyond that, I feel bad because I don't even know why it matters what tier system we're in. After sort of two, you just like all the fun things have gone. Like,
There's rumours out there that we're on tier 11 now.
so after two, I'll stop paying attention. It could be 23, and I'd just be like, they've taken away another thing I don't do. And I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah.
Because it kind of makes me want to do them. But I've never needed to really go to Argos for, like, I don't know, whatever it is Argos sells these days, or sort of like Dunelm. And I was like, I really want to go to Dunelm now for netting.
I won't shop there. I won't shop there.
But do you know what I mean? Like, so it's all just been one big blunder.
Yeah.
I think Christmas was the turning point. I was like, this is a bit shit. At Christmas, I was like, no, this kind of really sucks. Because I got excited. And then they locked that down. And then after that, it's just felt like it's all just been locked down.
Yeah. Well, because you're on Benny Shakes Things Up, we are a disabled led podcast. So just imagine how the disabled people feel now they're being told again to isolate.
Yeah, the shielding.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, again, how can I put it? I suppose you don't ever stop shielding because you don't stop being disabled. Like, COVID is indiscriminatory.
Yeah.
And prevalent in that way.
Yeah, I mean, we've got people who don't go out full stop because they can't get out of bed all their lives. We've got people in wheelchairs who struggle on public transport. Yeah, but I could go on all day, but we're not here for that. So tell us a bit about your comedy. How did you get into it?
So years and years ago, me and a friend signed up to do a stand-up course. But we didn't read the thing properly, and we sent the thing to the wrong email, and we ended up doing an improv course.
All right.
Like, we turned up on the day, and they were like, "Oh, you two are in improv," and we looked at each other like, "Improv?" And so we did this improv course, and it was really good. To be fair, we started a group, it's good, and so forth. And then it stemmed from there of, I suppose, once you're on stage, and if you turn up on stage with no material, you'd imagine it'd be easier with material.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. But it's not true. And so there's a point where I was just like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I'm just like, I went on stage and it went to be expected when you do your first one. Anyone who's done it understands.
Yeah.
Sort of your first gig, you're excited, you're thinking, but it does not necessarily go the way you want it to.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like this is the reality of it, and it's completely different to what you had in your head.
Mm.
And then it just kind of started from there, and I did that thing where I had a circle on a map, and I was like, within 30 minutes, I'll do a gig.
Right. Yeah.
And then you kind of do a few more gigs, and you run out of gigs, and people will do it. So you're like, oh, I'll increase it to 45 minutes. And at the moment, I'm like an hour and a half. I'll do an hour and a half worth of driving on Google Maps.
Really? I did more than that. I've
You,
done 3 hours.
yeah, I remember thinking, because I saw you in the Northeast.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's my limit. That's my limit. I'm like an hour and a half. The Northeast is my limit. And I saw you, Benny.
Can you imagine
You do an hour to get to me.
that night being pulled up by the police with Tommy, who has got a Mohican and he's all over the place. I don't know where he gets his energy. And Tommy Wagstar, and you've got Ian Pesky, who is, you're right, yeah, straight faces. I am so glad we didn't get pulled out that night. So,
Mate, Tommy carries that can of gasoline with him.
I know, yeah.
That's not explained, isn't it? He's got a number plate and a can of gasoline, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine an officer being like, tell me a joke?
Yes. Oh, good. Are you all right, sir? Yeah, I'm fine. Are they your friends? Yeah, they're fine. So,
what are you three up to? Well, you wouldn't believe it, officer, right?
it'd be weird.
Oh, mate. I've often thought that.
And then the lockdown happened. Well,
it did.
First one. So, have you done many online gigs or aren't you bothered?
I've done 2.
Right.
So in between the first and second lockdown, I was quite lucky because I got 2 gigs sort of. It was Kurt, they were Sheffield based. It was Kurt Lambert and it was Ollie Clark and it was Daniel Innes. And they asked me to do gigs for them. And I live with my mum and dad and they're in their 60s. So I was kind of like, I was a bit tenuous to do many gigs.
Yeah.
So I did their gigs in real life. And you know, one was in a car park.
Yeah.
One was sort of well managed in a thing. And then I've done a couple online gigs. I did Bradford Fringe. That's the one that I did that was the biggest.
Yeah,
it was really good. It's a fantastic gig. I'd recommend it to anyone.
Was that Retford Fringe or
I did the Retford Fringe as well for Mike Barker.
what was the first one?
The first one was Bradford.
That's the one Paisley Boyd runs, and they are fantastic.
They're really good.
Their set.
Sorry, Benny.
Have you ever seen Paisley do a set?
Yes. Yeah. I saw Paisley. I've sort of met Paisley a few times.
Yeah.
And there's this one time where Paisley. Have you seen Paisley's set?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen the bit where Paisley pulls something out of a backpack?
No, I haven't seen that one.
There's one. It's sort of early on. Paisley pulls something out of a backpack, and Paisley kindly asked me if I'd just throw it on stage to them rather than pull it out of the backpack because it stops rhythm. So yes, I have had the honor of throwing a cuddly toy at Paisley Boyd.
Oh, it's a cuddly toy, isn't it? Yeah, because Paisley's autistic. She likes sorry. I'm sorry, Paisley. I forgot myself then. Paisley likes the toys and that. So
I threw it from the crowd on stage. Paisley caught it. It was seamless. We could be a double act. I could be a prop man if it comes to it.
Well, you'll have to ask Paisley that. Because they are asking for people to do the Fringe in, is it July?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, because they've started applying for that. Have you ever thought about doing a Fringe set for an hour?
The big Edinburgh one?
No, any. Really.
I get scared at 12 minutes plus. So an hour terrifies me.
Right. Yeah.
Only because I've done maybe 40 gigs at a push. I am relatively new. But if you take away the COVID time, I started September, August 2019. So until March. And then since March, it's all been. So yeah, I wish I had that kind of material.
Yeah.
I do that thing. I look at other comics and I'm like, they're so good. Like you, Benny.
Oh.
That gig in the Northeast, I turned up early and I said, who's on the lineup? And it was what do you call it? Matty Oxley's gig. And Matty Oxley is really good.
Yeah. I really want to get him on the podcast, but at the moment he's got a lot on. His partner works for the NHS, so thank you for helping the COVID patients. So yeah, I will get him on at some point. Carry on, but it did.
It's fine. Yeah, so I turned up early and I saw you were on the bill, and that was the week I couldn't get away from you, Benny. And I said to him, I don't want to go on after Benny.
No one did that.
Tommy, it's Ian, it's you. There's an order to you guys. You come as a trio, it's like a package, and you're hard to follow. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I'll do anything you want because I'm very amenable. But you know, just remember that Benny's like got paid gigs and you deserve them, mate. You're really good, but your stuff is very refined. And mine was sort of like kind of trying to still find itself. And so I was like, I don't want to go on after Benny. So he goes, not a problem, not a problem.
Yeah, because you're not even a year old yet, are you?
No, take out COVID and you're sort of, I'm still fairly new and trying. So he put me on after you, Benny.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you did have a break in between.
Yeah, thanks for that. Just so that they could talk about how funny you were before I came on.
Yeah. And I think you did all right because you did a lot of audience work as well.
Sometimes the audience helps you.
Yeah. So, yeah. Cool. Well, I got you on here as well to I want to start interviewing non-disabled comedians. But yes, get to know the comedy. But also, have you heard the model of disability?
I haven't.
Right, well, your work should have trained you up on it. But everyone by now should have a model of disability where your employers take you through how to treat disabled people. I mean, have you besides myself, growing up, did you ever have disabled friends, or did you know of disabled people?
Yeah, I've always sort of known disabled people in different areas of life. Like, you know, there are people at school that are disabled,
Yeah.
there are people sort of at college that are disabled and so forth. And, you know,
Yeah.
I think one
Go
of
on.
the things is 2 decades ago, you know, 2.5 decades, 3 decades ago, a lot of disabilities were hidden,
Yes.
I'd say, and the people specifically went to lengths to hide them. And so when
Yeah.
I grew up, it was less prevalent. You know, like not all disabilities can be seen, sort of thing. And just the times were the times, my friend, and we have come a long way.
We have,
But you know,
we're,
people suffered.
we're still in the dark ages, still with disability. I mean,
There's a long way to go, and I guess it's a
yeah,
journey that doesn't stop.
yeah,
You know, as with all issues sort of in
yeah,
life, is the one thing I'd say, like race, disability, gender, all of those things.
yeah, because gender's a big thing for me this year. I've learned a lot about gender fluid. Doing this podcast, I've met Paisley Boy, Sam Serrano is gender fluid. Is that the correct term? Yeah. And they like to be called they, and yeah. So yeah, but you must know a bit about how it feels like to be segregated in a way with your race. Is
Yeah.
that so? Yeah, I don't want to get it wrong. I
No,
haven't got my co-host with me, so I'm doing this on my own. So
that's fine. Yeah. How can I put it? We all have individual experiences, I think, and we share a lot of that commonality with other sort of people for whatever reason. So yeah, sort of disabled thing. At the time, like 2 decades ago, 3 decades ago, it was fairly obvious if you weren't, you know, if you didn't fit in for whatever reason.
mm,
And again, it's not, I think, as most people have realized, it's not always overt, but you feel it in a way. You feel that you're different.
yeah,
And there are times you can accept it and you can just be like, you know what? I am different and it's not going to change.
no,
So you have to take it as it is. And I think you have other days where you're just frustrated, pissed off, angry.
yeah,
Sorry, you want to cry at the fact that you are different and it's not going to change.
yeah,
And, you know, a lot of that can also build up. And it's kind of, I just say, how can I put it? It changes on day to day, but yes, I've had the sort of I've had the racism, the segregation, the so forth and so forth.
yeah. Do you think we've achieved a lot last year with Black Lives Matter, or do you think there's still a long way to go?
I think there's always going to be a long way to go because
Yeah.
these issues aren't standstill; they're
No,
organic. So
no.
I find like the Black Lives Matters conversation,
Mm,
the movement, the political sort of animal that it is. Um, I think it's organic and goals change. I
mm,
mean, ultimately, it's always equality. You want equality, but what that means for every individual person is different. But yeah, I think we're having conversations that we wouldn't have before. Same with the LGBT plus community.
yeah.
But again, they're an organic sort of community, from what I can tell, and they want different things individually, and it's hard to wrap that up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And same with disability, because I think obviously disabilities come in different forms.
Exactly.
And you want help in different ways.
I've got different views as different views by Paisley, who's autistic. Paisley might just want equal opportunities in the workplace a bit more. I do too, but also I want a bit more in accessibility in pubs, restaurants, coffee, everywhere. I mean,
Exactly.
if everywhere could have a ramp, that would be perfect, but we don't live in that society.
Yeah.
We've got old buildings, and okay, we need to, yeah, try and adapt them. And it does cost money, but I think the more we talk about it, the better we will be.
Yeah, less conversation is bad, more conversation is good.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, I just think we've come a long way, but there's always going to be more to go because we're always changing. As society, it's different from where we were. You know, we build things differently, we make things differently, we look at things differently now than 20 years ago, than 100 years ago when buildings were made.
A year ago, look at where we are now. We've found Zoom. I mean,
We found Zoom.
well, it has been a saviour for me with my support groups, interviewing great people. I mean, I'm interviewing 2 American people Saturday morning.
Nice.
They're disabled, so yeah, it's amazing. So let's have a laugh. Right, I've asked you to bring some oven gloves.
I have oven gloves.
Some sweets.
Some sweets. I'm gonna move this back a bit so perhaps you can see more of the magic. Oven gloves. I have got.
Because I shake and I struggle to open stuff, I just wanted you to experience a few things. So let's go with the hardest. Let's go with the small sweet.
The small sweets.
And see if you can open it.
Okay. I'm gonna just pick something at random.
Yeah.
I think. Right. I think I'm gonna pick something at random. The smallest, hardest sweet in the world.
Yeah.
Really had to come out.
And for the podcast on Spotify, just explain how frustrated you might feel doing this.
We've got to a point now where I'm doing the same thing like madness, and it's not working. And I'm thinking, what dignified way or undignified way do we go from here? And I'm definitely like, should I just bite?
That's what I would do. I mean, you imagine people who have only got one use of their arm.
Yeah.
They bite. I mean, how would you crack an egg without using your arms?
Without using my arms?
Yeah.
Now
you
can I stand on it? Right? Does it have to be usable afterwards?
Yeah, it's got to be usable after.
You see, I'm like an elbow, but maybe I'm not considered the full torso. Maybe it's like the headbutt. Like if you carefully enough to like hold it against the ball and like.
Well, again,
I've still not got into this, by the way.
I haven't done my research, but there was a famous artist in the 90s and 2000s, and she had no arms, and she had legs, but they were small, and she used her teeth. The teeth, and then when the egg was in the bowl, she would have got a spoon in her mouth to fish out the shells. How are you doing with that?
I am in there, but now I'm kind of like, how do I, without throwing the sweets at me, how do I sort of get thingy to mouth? And I've got one, but one dropped. So we've got a 50% like loss rate.
No, the rule is if you can pick it up, it's 10-second rule.
All right, well, count me down, Benny. Right.
Yeah.
Give me a 10-second countdown. I'll try and do it, yeah?
Okay, 1,
Okay.
2.
I can't describe how hard this is or frustrating because I'm doing the same thing. Right. I'm gonna
5, 6.
I got one.
Yeah.
I got one. Fire. Right, licking this desk. Which what do you mean licking the floor?
Imagine doing that in a coffee shop.
Oh mate. I work in a coffee shop. I haven't seen what goes on them surfaces. Don't do it. Let it go.
But imagine if you had to.
Yeah. I can't imagine any setting where that, apart from like kindergarten, where you might be sort of like, this might be okay. Other people might join in with you. I'll be honest, it's hard. It's hard, and I've done this for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It takes a strength of character.
Yeah.
To accept that this is it. Do you know what I mean? I suspect.
Yeah, it's sometimes it can be soul destroying.
Yeah.
I can't speak for everyone, but for me, if I'm having a bad day and I'm out all day, I won't eat or drink just because me holding a cup. I mean, you've seen it, but I have to hold a cup with 2 hands. So I won't ask you to drink with other mix. Have you got a pen and a piece of paper near you?
I got my phone, if that's any good.
Yeah, try your phone and see what.
Oh, I got about this ain't right. I can't even turn my phone on. Oh, I got it. Yeah, nothing's happening there.
Try your nose.
Oh, yes. Yes, Benny, you've done this before. Hey, I got somewhere. I'm in there. My nose is doing the job. If I wasn't short-sighted.
Oh yeah.
That'd be me. Come on. Yes. I want you to know there's a woman outside who's walking the dog just looking at me.
Really?
Right. Yeah, she's kind of looking at me right now whilst my nose is on my phone, moving left and right whilst wearing these oven gloves. So I'm just saying, Benny, I want you to know.
I think we're let you. Thank you.
I got some notes up, Benny. Typing, I don't think I could do with my nose, I'll be honest. That'd be like, but I have got to a note type thing going on, right?
Have you got near you a pencil with a rubber on the end? No?
I don't. I haven't.
All right. Well, if you did have one, a rubber on an end of a pencil is like a dipper on a iPhone.
Oh well, I got this, which is a felt tip and a felt tip eraser on the end of.
I think it would work, but you can try it.
No, it
No,
doesn't.
no. Anyway, I think we'll let you off. I think you
Thank
can
you.
give up.
Benny, I got a question.
Yes.
Okay. What do you need from the general public? How do you need to be treated when you're out and about?
With respect, I mean, I've just been trying to write a funding bid for the podcast itself, and I've quoted my good friend Mark Buckwood, and I think Kate Lovelock said this. We're not the issue. You guys need to adapt. We don't have to adapt. You should adapt. And I think that's a very good quote. I mean, I don't know. I don't blame the public for how they treat us. I just think if they started teaching the model of disability more in schools,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be here in 20 years' time doing podcasts. Well, we will, but there will be more accepted in the community. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'm always worried that I'm overly friendly.
What do you mean?
Like, by going out of my way, I'm always concerned that I am making it obvious that someone has a disability.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
sometimes you kind of like, I feel guilty because I don't know how to. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't want to come off like an idiot. But there are times where you feel some people think you're just being too friendly and you should go away and leave them to it.
Yeah, my motto is if you see me struggle, ask me.
Yeah.
Don't do it for me.
To always ask.
Yeah. I mean, if you see me and Tommy, I might be struggling and you might think he's an arsehole, but he's not an arsehole. He's letting me do it for myself.
Yeah.
And then if I need his help, I will ask.
Yeah.
I mean, I never used to drink drinks with a straw out in public. I met Tommy and he carried my drink over with a straw in. And I said, I don't do straws. And he's like, why? Well, it makes me look weird. And he's like, oh, give over. If it's going to help you, does it matter what anyone cares about? And I'm like, well, that's true.
That is a good attitude to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, what would the world be if we had no stairs? I think it would be a bonus.
Like just ramps everywhere where people could slide down.
Just ramps.
You know, like the sack thing at the fair where you go around.
Yeah.
And they just give you a sack at the top and it's polished.
Yeah.
So you get to slide down.
Yeah. 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 Or lifts in flats, but then you've got policies, you need to make houses bigger, but why not make houses bigger? I don't know. But it's like adaptions. How much do you think a straw like this costs?
Is it reusable?
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's reusable. You suck on it, and instead of the liquid going back down, it stops in it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So there's a stopgap. So how much do you reckon two of these cost?
Benny, we've started an infomercial, mate. Right?
I won't tell you the brand because I don't know the brand.
I'd guess maybe £6.
You're spot on. £6.
I swear we didn't talk before. I've never seen that straw before in my life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's not cheap, to be fair, especially if you break it.
It's not cheap. I mean, I've just had my bathroom and a stair lift put in. Yes, the government paid for it, but it wasn't cheap.
No, it wasn't something you could undertake yourself.
Yeah, but again, it's that thing. If you're retired and you've got more than 16,000 in the bank and you need a stair lift and a shower room, the government will not fund it because you've got more than 6,000 in the bank, but you've paid all your taxes all your life. Surely it's time the government
Gave you a bit back.
Yeah.
They collected it, they got interest on it, they've made their money out of you.
Yeah.
I would have thought by retirement most people would have that amount just because, like you've done 65, you're 65, you've done 40 years of work, 45 years of work.
Yeah. But again, disabled people are getting penalised because they've got more savings.
Yeah.
We have to pay for our own care because we've got savings. I've had to lose 20 hours of my care 2 years ago because I earned too much. So
that's pretty crap.
It is. But
I don't think we're allowed to swear on this podcast. We didn't go over that. Is the profanity allowed?
No, you can swear. You can.
It's fucking shit, right?
It is shit, but don't tell Boris Johnson this. But on a good note, when I let my carer go, Angie, she was fantastic. I found comedy. So, in a way, you became my carers and my support. So, yeah, it happens for a reason.
Yeah, I would say if you're thinking of going into comedy, do it. I have met wonderful people who are encouraging, who are nice, who are lovely. I've met people the opposite, but mostly I've met really, really good people like Benny, like Tommy, like Ian.
Yeah.
I've met a community that don't have a lot, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because the sort of nights you're on, as you know, like when everyone does well, you do better. And there's a lot of camaraderie, and it's an amazing feeling.
It is. I mean, since lockdown, you were I know Derby Writers Club do a writers group.
Yeah.
You set one up just after lockdown, and I found that really great. Do you want to tell people about that?
Sure. I started up a Zoom session and I was like, it was purely selfish. It
Yeah,
was so that I could get more material because everyone was getting better and I was not.
yeah,
Because I find it hard to write sometimes.
yes,
What I found was I was like, oh, we'll do like 20% of like, sort of chit chat, whatever, and 80% writing. And what we actually do is 80% of fanning about and like, just kind of
yeah,
it's almost social, and then maybe 20% of writing, and that's fine
yeah.
because it is supposed to be fluid and loose, and it's getting people together. And
Danny, you do know you can take the oven gloves off.
can I?
Yeah.
Oh,
You're there just
I was
like
like, you were like, just put them on. I was like, for the whole thing, okay, right, I'm ready for it. I mean, I'm not ready for it, but I'm going to give it a go. Do you know what? I've been waiting to eat these sweets, right?
oh, that's it.
Like, I don't know if I can do this and eat the sweets at the same time. There's a level of concentration. But yeah, I started this writing group, and it's loosely a writing group. It's just an ideas group, to be fair. We think of ideas, people take them, lose them, and as you know, the other thing about comedians, or even people attempting to be comedians, is they are a special bunch with a terrible sense of humor.
Yes.
We are not the people we portray on stage, right? By any means. And sometimes you need to be around that. Sometimes people in your daily lives do not understand
Yeah.
the need that you have inside to take a dark situation and take the piss out of it.
Yeah.
I don't believe you're taking things seriously. And you are. It's just that's the way your brain has worked for a long time.
I think also it's helped with everyone's mental health.
Yeah.
We've all rallied around and we support each other. I mean, I support a load of disabled comedians. I do try and participate in the group chats with you guys, but I wanted to try and get you to experience this, but I don't know how. Um, with the group chats, I really appreciate me being part of it, but because you guys write so fast and I have trouble reading, it's like by the time I've got through your writing, 20 others have gone. So in the end, I give up, but I didn't know how to.
I wouldn't worry about it, Betty. I got to work and I come home and I just look and there's 40, 50 messages there. And I'm like, I don't even know if I want to read through 40, 50 messages. I've just come from work. So it's just the same to you. By the time you got there, you're just like, am I saying what I said is relevant or is it not? And I will be honest, sometimes it's just whether something's cheap at, a major supermarket. That's all they're talking about. Like
Yeah,
the things that come up there, you were like, I'm not sure I signed up for this, but somehow we're on this track, so let's carry on. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. I was gonna try and get some sign language for you to learn, but I didn't have time to do any, so no, I can't. So, but do you know any sign language? Because that is
Thank you.
another big thing.
I thought that thank you.
Yeah, thank
Um,
you.
um, and the only thing I know about sign language, and I don't know if this is right or wrong, British sign language, you use both hands. Well,
Right.
American sign language, I thought they were predominantly single-handed.
Yeah, Yeah. I know that one. I've probably got it wrong, but that's how I was told toilet
Oh, okay.
as toilet.
Mhm.
That is hospital. So
Ah.
biscuit, biscuit. So yeah.
Um,
No
I
suck
know asshole, right? I think.
asshole.
Yes.
Go on then.
I think it's that and then that, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right. I think it's that, and it's. I don't know why.
Everyone knows that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everyone.
Um, I would say though, surely it's a tough time to be deaf because with the masks, lip reading is a major part of
It
what you
is.
used to do for communication.
Yeah, I
So it
mean,
has truly affected.
yeah, I mean, you're used to my voice,
Yeah.
but when I go into supermarkets and ask for, I don't know, give me a word, but I can't say. Um, I don't know, but if I ask for frozen veg or something complicated and I can't pronounce it properly, people are like, pardon,
Yeah.
pardon. And I just want to rip off my mask and say the thing, but then that's risking my own health.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's hard.
Rodicchio. That's something hard to say.
What, say it again?
Rodicchio. Rodicchio.
Rodicchio.
Never mind, it's not that hard. Right.
Ah,
I'm trying to think.
because we do play a game,
Yeah.
you get 3 goes
Yeah.
and you can be the first one on the board.
Okay.
Try and give Benny a big word to say. If I can say it, I win a point. If I can't say it, you win a point.
Okay. First of all, I'd have to know big words, but let's give it a go. Right. Let me think. Cataclysm.
Cataclysm.
You get a point.
That was good. That was good for me. I'm having a good day.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm having a brain freeze here.
It's all right.
I'm-
It's fine. It's fine. Fine.
I would have looked up words if you told me, Benny,
I
right?
know. Maybe I should tell you.
Thesaurus.
So, thesaurus or saurus?
Thesaurus.
Thesaurus.
You can have that point.
Oh man.
Yours.
You don't you don't have to give it to me just because I'm disabled.
No, I think if
You're
you know what you're talking about, we're there. Do you know what I mean? It's the spirit of the game, right? Is if I'm sort of a stranger and you say it and I'm like, yes, I know what he's talking about, we should definitely give you the point. Right.
right. Yeah.
Finally, Tysaurus Rex. I can't even say that. Oh,
Thesaurus Rex. No, I can't say that. I'll give you that
I'll
one.
take a point. I'll take a pity point. It's fine.
Good point.
I
Right,
can't
I'll
say
put you on the board as 1 point.
1 point.
1 point.
1 point.
Well, it was nice to get to know you a bit more and try and teach you the model of disableism. Don't go away. I'm just gonna stop record.
That's fine.
If you've enjoyed the podcast, please like and subscribe. And if you fancy donating a bit of money towards the podcast or the comedians, the PayPal link will be below, because like everything, a lot of comedians have lost their jobs again. So we try and give the headline comedians some money. So we will see you on the next episode of Benny Shakes Things Up.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid that's all we have time for tonight from Benny and the gang. Please remember to subscribe and click on the bell for more notifications on the next instalment of Benny Shakes Things Up. If you want to support the podcast, or you like the jingle from Leicester in Nottingham, please click on the links below. Adios, amigos.